And welcome to our Instagram Bootcamp Live. I am so excited to kick things off momentarily. I'm to make sure I'm live in the right spot. So, could you be a huge favor and go ahead and say hi in the chat? Also, tell me where you're joining in from. That would be amazing. I would love to see where everyone is in the world today. I've got the chat on one screen, I've got my slides on the other screen. I am ready to rock and roll. This is my fifth time doing the Instagram Bootcamp, and I usually do it in August every year. But this year, because of having kids and the way my schedule worked out, I moved it to October. And y'all, I totally forgot. It's Canadian Thanksgiving over here. Being from the US and now living in Canada, every single year, I'm like, oh, yes, Canadian Thanksgiving is so early. Like, it just feels so early to me. I totally forgot. Anyways, the kids are napping. We're gonna have ham later, not turkey, and we're having a grand old time. So I see Bente from Norway. Hello. Tanya from New Mexico. Jill from Southeast Pennsylvania. Nancy from Washington State. I see Scribbling Red Panda from Virginia. Keep it coming in the chat. For those of you who are new here, I'll introduce myself in a second. My name is Andrea Jones, but I live in Canada. As I mentioned, I'm in Fort Erie, Ontario, which is a small town in Niagara region. So I'm about 25 minutes from Niagara Falls. I'm actually much closer to Buffalo, New York. So if you see like the wild levels of snow that Buffalo, New York gets every year, we get it too. We get it too. Just sandwiched between Lake Erie and Lake Ontario. We just get a lot of snow here, but I love living here. I love this small town. And so I don't know, it's just near and dear to my heart. Anyway, so keep the chat hot. We will have a live Q&A at the end of this session as well. So feel free to answer your questions. There is a small delay from when I say it to when it's in the chat as well. So keep that in mind. All right, let's talk about the Instagram boot camp. You're probably here because you're ready to build some awareness with your business. You want to get some warm leads. You want to establish your authority in your niche. And maybe life got busy. Okay. Instagram got pushed to the background. It became a message this later kind of thing. Or maybe you've been on Instagram for a while and you're ready to revitalize. You want to look at it with fresh eyes. Or maybe the thing you've been doing over and over again just isn't working anymore. So you're here to try to revitalize and invigorate your Instagram strategy. Whatever the case may be, you're welcome here. Welcome, welcome. Susan, yes, okay. Susan, you may have to remind me of that from Scribbling Red Panda. And Jill is here. Hey, Jill from NYC. All right, so this is day one of the Instagram bootcamp, and you're here because Instagram, you maybe hate the notifications, or you log into Instagram and you're scrolling and scrolling just to distract yourself, and you see a cute dog video, and suddenly you're on Instagram, and you're like, how did I even get here? I'm supposed to be working. And then you feel guilty because you've wasted time on Instagram and you wanted to use it for business. Whatever the case may be, I want to share a little bit about my perspective on social media because I'm a huge fan of social media boundaries. I think that social media can be fun and profitable. It absolutely can be something that is used as a tool to grow your business. But boundaries are very important to every business owner. For me, I don't have notifications turned on my phone when it comes to Instagram notifications. I don't get the notifications on my device for a lot of the day. I actually used to turn it off completely, and now I have kind of different do not disturb settings for throughout my day. And I think it's really important to have boundaries like that. A few of my other boundaries are I don't post my kids on social media or my family, and I keep things, my personal life, pretty private. I know it seems like I share a lot, but I actually don't share a lot on social media, and that's done intentionally because I do want to have that line between, my personal life and my online life. I also believe that people connect with people. Okay. Even if you are a company, even if you're a company, I truly believe that every single brand that's on social media has a personality. So I want you to think about some of the big brands that have personalities. Um, Taco Bell back in the day on X, formerly known as Twitter, or even Duolingo on TikTok. These are big brands that have a very specific defining personality that kind of helps them navigate as a brand, helps them have a unique perspective. And so that's something that I want you to think about when it comes to your social media is how can you build something that has that unique perspective in your brand. Today, we're going to be talking about some groundwork. I want to help you identify some ways that you can improve your Instagram account, really, so that if someone lands on it for the first time, they go, yes, this is exactly what I was looking for. This is for me. We also want to identify ways to improve your profile, which I said, and then optimize your profile for conversion. So they're not just coming into um, they're not just coming into your profile and saying, this is nice. They're going, this is nice, and I need to give them my money immediately. That is the kind of situation that we want people to have when they visit our profile. We're going to go through 3 different ways to do this as well, and I'm going to talk a lot about mindset this week. Mindset is a huge important component to this. We'll also talk about strategy, and we'll build in the habits so that you actually can continue with your Instagram strategy as we continue. I love Instagram, okay? But I think a lot of us are in a social media situationship. We know we need Instagram. We know we need social media. We can see the value it has in our business. And these dang notifications, and I get one more fake notification from Instagram telling me like 50% of people like this post, so I should boost it. I'm gonna scream. Like it's quite annoying. And yet I know that some of my most beautiful relationships came from Instagram. And so it's this tug and pull of like, should we, shouldn't we? Do I want this? But it feels toxic scenario when it comes to Instagram. And so I want us by the end of this week to move through Instagram guilt free. So, our focus for the Instagram is strategy. We're going to talk about how to lay the foundation so that you actually have an Instagram strategy that allows you to use Instagram as a tool to grow your business and not just something for a pretty fun thing to do. We're going to talk about mindset, how to build in the confidence to using Instagram as a tool to grow your business. You know, we like to watch content from people who are confident. And a lot of times when I see business owners struggling, it's not because they don't have a strategy and it's not because they haven't done anything great. It's because they did a little something and then those little doubt gremlins came in and said, you're the worst or nobody cares. And so they stopped. And so I want to talk through mindset every single day of this week. And then I'll also wrap it up in habits. Habits are the things that keep you committed to leveraging Instagram long term and not getting so caught up in our feelings about everything. So let's start off with your message. Your message. Now, those of you who have been with me, tracked with me before, I see Jill in the chat. I know you've been here before. This next section may be familiar to you, but I want you to use it as an excuse to refresh and also to share in the chat. Those of you who are live, or if you're watching the replay, I want you to put some of your answers in the chat as well. You never know who you may connect with as well in these exercises. So the first exercise we're going to do is called your 3 Ws. This is marketing, messaging, positioning. This is how people know that what you have to offer is exactly what they've been looking for, and it really helps them connect with you and your brand. So the first W is, what do you sell? We want to keep this short and sweet. So for me, I share marketing shortcuts. My current one is the Mindful Marketing Lab. Okay, so what do you sell? Mindful Marketing Lab. Okay, it should be your primary offer or your suite of offers. The second W is, who is it for? And when we think about the who is it for, I want you to dive deep into the actual psychographics of this person, not the demographics, but who are you actually talking to? So let me explain. A lot of times when we're looking at our, sometimes this is called your ideal client avatar, your customer avatar, your ideal client persona. We start off with gender and age. It's a very traditional way to start. However, with today's kind of ecosystem and landscape, we can really work with all sorts of people all across the world. And so sometimes gender and age, and a lot of times gender and age is not an accurate representation of who you actually work for. And I'll use my business as an example. I know based on my stats that most of my business comes from, I almost said middle age. I'm like, are we middle age? Between the ages of 30 and 60, and mostly female, and honestly, mostly white female women. That's redundant, but anyways, that is who primarily my audience is. However, I would never start off by saying that's my ideal client avatar because my clients are so much more varied than that. Even though there's a huge portion of y'all that identify in that exact category that I just listed, there's also a huge portion of y'all that don't. And so for me, I tend to use different terms. You're usually an online business owner selling an digital product or service. You see how specific that is? Already, I'm not using age, I'm not using gender, I'm using what you actually are. You're an online business owner, usually selling a product or service. Occasionally, I can work with local business owners as well. Mostly, though, online business owners selling a product or service. Okay. Last W is why does it matter? So, what do you sell? Who is it for? And why does it matter? And the why does it matter here is transformative. I want you to think about where your ideal clients and customers are before encountering your offer and where they want to be after encountering your offer. Okay. So I'll use mine as an example, but I would love for you to put yours in the chat as well. So for the Mindful Marketing Lab, a lot of my clients and customers are confused. They're overwhelmed. They have too much information and they just want a clear path. Okay. So that's how they're feeling before they come to me. And then after working with me, they usually have confidence. They usually have clarity. They usually feel like they have a plan. And so all of those things are feelings that they feel. Okay. So I want to see yours in the chat as well. Hey, Sarah from Toronto. No worries on being late. Happy Thanksgiving, by the way. I totally forgot. I always forget this every year. I've lived in Canada for 11 years now. So going into my 12th year, and I still go, oh, right, it's Thanksgiving so early. Anyway. So put it in the chat. What do you sell? Who's it for? Why does it matter? This will also be a great opportunity to connect with all of the amazing business owners in the chat as well. But to recap mine, the Mindful Marketing Lab is for online business owners who sell a service or a digital product. And it matters because they're feeling confused and they want clarity. They want something simple that they can do, something that fits into their busy lives. All right. All right, pop those three W's in the chat. Let's move on to the mindset portion of our bootcamp because I think that the three W's are great. And I can already see some of you probably thinking to yourself, either I've done this before, why am I doing this again? Or this feels so beginner level. What does this have to do with Instagram? And I want to tell you that sometimes it's a little bit of ego. Okay. A little bit of, I already know this. But when I go to audit Instagram accounts, and like I said, this is my 5th year running the Instagram bootcamp. I've audited hundreds and hundreds of Instagram accounts. Every time I audit, I'm like, where's your W's? What do you sell? Who's it for? Why does it matter? I have no idea why this would matter to me. And so I want you to set your ego aside, even if you're 100% confident in Instagram, which I don't think you'd be here if you were, but if you were, set that ego aside and look at your Instagram with fresh eyes. Can you answer those 3 questions? If I were brand new to looking at your Instagram, can I tell what you sell? Can I tell if it's for me? And can I tell what sort of transformation it'll have in my life and my business? I also want you to commit to doing the work. Over the next 4 to 5 days of this boot camp, some of this stuff may seem easy for you. Some of this stuff you may already know. I want you to do it anyways. A lot of the mindset challenges that I bump up against with Instagram is, y'all, Instagram changes every 3 days, it feels like. Okay. So it feels like Instagram's changing every 3 days. And on top of all of that, we have our business running in the background or running in the foreground, really. And so even if we feel like we know what we're supposed to be doing, we log into Instagram and we feel dazed and lost and confused because something has moved around again. Hello, I feel like that all the time. And so I don't want you to feel the same as you're going through your work. Gotta give a shout out to Nancy for putting her free W's in the chat. Nancy's a wedding planner in Western Washington, creating personalized weddings for busy professionals who love the outdoors. Chef's kiss, mwah, Nancy, no notes. I love it. Um, yeah, it's great. I'm trying to think of I love the outdoors piece, maybe even get more specific to that a little bit, but I like, if I saw that, I'd be like, "Oh, this is for me," or not for me, if that were the case. Another shout out here goes to Jill. Jill says, "I sell copywriting and community for business owners living and working with chronic illness." Yes, I love that, Jill. I think that that's also a very, very specific offer. The only question I have is the community piece and the way you say "I sell." Sometimes the word "sell" can be a little assumptive, and so I would love to see how you also maybe "I help" or I'm a copywriter and community builder. I think that could be a little bit more, like, if I saw your account, I'd be more willing to follow you. I'm a copywriter and community builder versus I sell. I sell can sometimes like, we don't ever wanna be sold to. We don't usually volunteer, and we're like, "Hey, sell me something." Like, so that's my only feedback for that, Jill. Great. I love it, I love it. And I know I taught it like this, "What do you sell?" This is for us internally, but for the world at large, the sell word I would stay away from. Okay. Oh, Jill, I see yours popping in the chat too. Um, okay. Jill is a mindfulness and stress management strategist for professional women experiencing stress in the workplace, and it matters so they can reduce stress, increase calm, and thrive in their personal and professional lives. Beautiful, Jill, beautiful. As you go through your content too, the word stress came up a lot for you, so I would love to see what this looks like for your people. Maybe not be something you need on your profile, but how does stress manifest? Because sometimes people don't even recognize that they're stressed. I know for me, typically it starts off as like a completely overwhelmed, like drowning feeling, like almost like I can't do this feeling. And then I go, oh, I'm stressed. I literally need to just go touch grass, and then it all works out. Okay, last one from Susan. I am a story coach who helps writers and service providers connect with their audience more using narrative design and neuroscience. Oh, fancy. I love that. Uh, yeah, I mean, it's a little above my pay grade, but it sounds really smart, Susan. I wish I could give you more feedback, but I don't really know what some of that means. Neuroscience and narrative design. Whew, beautiful. All right. Keep them coming in the chat. I'm gonna keep going forward with the foundations for transformation, because one of the, things that I see frequently when I'm auditing accounts as well, is that even if you have your 3 Ws, someone lands on the account and you really expect them to do the heavy lifting of, like, going through the buyer's journey, and we want to make that as easy as possible for them. So a question I wanna ask you is, can you identify a buyer's journey? What takes them from not knowing who you are to buying your products, your service, your offer, okay? So they don't know you exist. They're like scrolling on Instagram. They stumble across a post, they get over to your profile, they see your 3 Ws, now what? We wanna be able to answer that question. It's so very rare that someone lands on your Instagram account and then they go, "Yes, I wanna buy this immediately." Like, that is so rare. I've had it happen to me in one instance. I want you to think about if it's ever happened for you. There was just one time for me, it was actually my favorite pair of glasses, which my, toddler broke, so sad, I don't have them right now. I'll get them replaced eventually, but I saw these glasses on an Instagram ad, and I bought them immediately. Like, I didn't need to be sold. I just saw them and was like, "These are mine. Here's my credit card. Give me my glasses." That has only ever happened to me one time. Generally speaking, I'm the type of purchaser who I like to do research. If I see something, I'm gonna go look at competitors, I'm gonna go look at the reviews, I'm gonna watch YouTube tutorials, I'm gonna look at everything, okay? I'm gonna research the company, the founder. Like, I like to know. I like to know a lot of information. And so I want you to think about this for you when someone lands on your account for the first time and they're looking at you, they don't immediately go, "Yes, I wanna buy this." What are those steps? What is that journey? And I like to think of this in 2 steps. We have the last step, which is they buy from you, okay? They buy from you. That's easy. But what we're gonna work on is the next step. So generally the next step is the action or actions a client or customer takes before giving you money for the thing that you sell. Okay? So there's a sequence of events that usually happens here that takes them from, "I don't know you," to, "Here's my money." And these steps establish connection. We want this person to signal to you that they're potentially interested in your offer. It really allows you to segment out those people who aren't so you can customize that communication, okay? And this is different from a follower. Um, in your buyer's journey, the follower is, like, so far at the beginning, it almost doesn't even count sometimes, okay? So a lot of times we're looking at follower numbers, that's great. We wanna establish a deeper connection for those people who are ready to spend money with you. We wanna also provide a solution oftentimes by giving them a chance to ask questions or get common questions answered. Sometimes this is through a free resource, but the goal is to assist in the buying process. Okay, this is not about giving something away for free for the sake of giving something away for free. It's really so that you can help them better understand what you and your business do, so that they can get to know, like, and trust you before giving them your money. I think of this as like the Costco sample strategy. Okay, Costco is such a North American thing. However, when you go to Costco and you're wandering through the bulk aisles, there are these, lovely workers at the end of the aisle who hand you samples. Their entire goal isn't just to give away free samples for fun, they want you to buy the whole thing. So you nibble on a little piece of cheese and go, "I'm gonna buy a block of cheese that's entirely too large because I tried the sample." Okay? What is a sample in your business? It could be very simple. It could be a direct message. It could be a free consultation call. You can have complicated funnels too, a lead magnet to an email sequence. You can have people download things on your website. You know, whatever the case may be, it's an action that a potential customer or client takes to indicate that they're interested in your offer so that you can then follow up with them and lead them towards the last step. All right. So your next step is what's on your Instagram profile, oftentimes, not your last step. So let's take a look at what this looks like by optimizing our Instagram profile for conversion. Okay, we're gonna do this together. I'm gonna show this through 3 character avatars that I've created, and then I'll also show you my Instagram as a real world example. And then if we have time at the end, I can show you some others as well during the Q&A time. Thing that I love and hate about being an online business owner is that first impressions matter. You know the saying, like, "Don't judge a book by its cover?" We judge it, okay? Down to the number of followers, yes, but people look at the entire account. They look at your profile photo, they look at your Instagram story highlights, they're looking at your pinned posts, they're looking at everything to see, "Is this for me?" And so we want to give that to them, because we want them to get a sample of it. This is like a movie trailer, okay? This is a movie trailer. Oh, is the audio clipping out or is it just me? Oh, no. Okay. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Let me, hold on. Bear with me. Let me see if I can close out of some of my notes here so y'all can see me. Okay. Hopefully that helps. Imma keep going. I'll also say this on Instagram, attentions are shorter than they ever have been. Um, this is one of those things that, um oh, it's still pretty staticky? Oh, bummer. Okay, hold on. Let me switch mics. It's not gonna be as pretty, but let's see. Oh, I can't switch mics while I'm recording. Okay. Oh man, I hope this clears up for y'all. Okay, let me get back to my notes. Okay, studies are saying that attentions are shorter than ever, shorter than a goldfish. Okay. Um, I'll stay near the mic. Thank you, Jill. Attention spans are much shorter than goldfishes. That's not a lot of time. And have y'all seen the internet? There's so much content on the internet. So you have a millisecond to really stand out with your profile. Otherwise, they're scrolling. Okay. Otherwise, they're scrolling. So when we think about how how people look at Instagram, when we think about how many Instagram accounts there are, the competition is very high. So we want to give them a reason to stay. Why would they care about you? Why would they care about you and your business? Really think about that. Look at your Instagram account and go, would I care or would I move on? Okay, we've got to be brutal here almost because we only have so long to really connect with people. All right. So I'm going to use my three characters. I did have new graphics created for this. I didn't have time to edit them before this challenge. So those of you in the lab, you saw the pretty graphics in our last live session, and they're gonna stay going forward. But for today, I got my old graphics. All right, character one's Kanisha. Kanisha is a therapist and coach for leaders. She actually has a full-time job working in corporate America. So her business is her side hustle. We have Aria, who is a website template shop owner. She sells digital products. So think templates for Shopify. And most of her clients are actually beauty brands. And so she works a lot with makeup, hair, those sorts of companies. And then lastly, we have Darius. Darius is a virtual assistant and operations manager for dentists. His clients are very busy. However, he helps them with all of the back end of their business. He helps them with their tools, their tech, their processing, all the way down to even booking appointments for them if needed. Right. So these are our three characters. Now let's take a look at what their three W's would be and how this shows up on their profile. So Kanisha's goal is to book more therapy sessions. She wants more therapy sessions booked for her clients who work in corporate America. And so she's going to showcase who she serves and that transformation front and center on her Instagram profile. And she's going to clarify that next step and really talk about what it looks like to work with her. So here's what Kanisha's Instagram could look like. She's going to have her profile photo be her face. And I get this question a lot. Should I use a logo? Should I use a face? 9 times out of 10, having a human face, or I guess any sort of face. I said human face, but I guess it could be a dog face or a cat face. Anyways, having a face on the profile really adds the connection piece that we need to be able to feel comfortable to say, yes, I want to follow this account. A lot of times as individuals, we don't want to follow brands, okay, unless we already know them and love them. And so if someone doesn't know you and love you, typically a face is a great way to make that connection. And then Keisha's profile says this: helping leaders build better teams. Do y'all see how her three W's are there? Even though it's not super long, she is the leader for leaders. So she's helping leaders build better teams. You can easily see her. What does she sell? Who is it for? And why does it matter? Right up front. All right. And then she also has her next step, which is her free leadership assessment. The other thing you'll notice on her profile is she has a link. Now, y'all, I made this up. Do not go to this website. Okay. This is just a made up website. But yourleadershipcoach.com/free is how she has her link set up. Now, I know Instagram gives you multiple links. So use the multiple links if you don't have like a landing page. I still prefer the landing page because I found for me and my business, it converts better. But you have to really take a pulse check of the best way to use this for your business. And the reason I like the one link is I can track very easily how many website clicks I'm getting from social. It gets a little bit hairy when I'm using multiple links because sometimes the tracking gets lost or I'm not really sure where people are coming from. And so for me, that's how I do it, but I will show you another way to do this as well. Lastly, in her highlights, she has a start here highlight where she introduces herself and she talks about her philosophy. She has other highlights based on specific topics. hiring, stress, balance, and growth. So if you're interested in any of those topics, you can check out her highlights as well. All right, moving on to Aria. Aria was our website template shop designer. So she wants to sell more websites, plain and simple. So she's using Instagram to showcase the variety of options that are available in her custom templates. And she wants potential buyers to visit the shop. That is her goal. Go to the shop, go to the shop. She probably has some sort of pop up that gives them like a new buyer discount when they visit her website. So her whole goal is just to get people on the website. So here's what her Instagram account could look like. When we're looking at Aria, she also is going to have her profile photo be her face. All right. Even though she is a company and she's selling website template shops, her face, she knows, converts the best. And if you have a question about whether you should use your face or a logo, I want you to ask yourself if someone writes an email, if they book a consultation call, if they use the conversation box, who are they talking to, you or a team? And so a lot of times, if it's you and you're the face of the business, if you are in a lot of the marketing, if your face is in a lot of the marketing, we probably want to think about having a face there. All right, so her bio is going to look like this. And she's an emoji queen. So look at these emojis. Website templates as beautiful as your brand, WordPress, Squarespace, Shopify, shop our best designs today. Okay, so that call to action as well is important. Like I said, when you're looking at your Instagram profile, you want the like, what's next? What do I do now question to be answered. Her link is going to be ariasdesignstore.com/latest. Again, I made up these links. Don't go here. I don't know what they go to, but she's going to have that one link in the bio. And then she's also going to have her highlights be focused on her templates. She's going to showcase her clients. She's going to have some reviews, and then she's going to have an About Us section as well. All right, lastly, let's take a look at Darius. Darius wants to book more dentist clients. And he wants to showcase his expertise and the ease of conversion or conversation. His clients are busy, and so they really want conversation. They're not a big, like, download a free PDF type of group, and so he just wants to have a conversation with them in a direct message, and I think this is still a great option for Instagram. A lot of people shy away from this, but if you just need to talk to people to close the deal, then make it easy for them. And Darius's clients are very much like that. They're more of like a call, text, email type of group. They're not going to wait for an email list. They don't even check their, promotions folder in Gmail. They just want to get on the phone with him. And so this is the easiest way for him. He may also even want to put his phone number right in his bio. Okay. So here's what it would look like. He's also going to use his profile photo, his photo of his face. His bio says virtual assistant service for dentists. Virtual assistant services for dentists. I want you to pause there for a second too, because he's also an operations manager. And sometimes we get a little cutesy with the stuff that we do. I would even remove the virtual assistant service, and he can also say virtual support services for dentists, because really the dentists don't care what his title is. They just want to care what he does. Okay. He also has a podcast. Listen to the Digital Dentist podcast. Interested in services, send me a DM. A very simple funnel, podcast or DM. His link is going to be a Linktree Dentist for Darius. Linktree is a great option if you want to have one link that still has multiple links. Again, I like to use these options right now. I'm using Metricool for this. They have the one link option, and I'm still able to track all of the clicks that are there, and that's a big thing for me. I want to see what people are clicking and what people are doing. Okay, you could make it easy for you. I think having a custom landing page is an advanced strategy, could work really well, but at the end of the day, make it easy for you. As long as people can find what they're looking for, that's the most important thing. And then his highlights are going to be about his clients, the podcast services, and resources. Okay, mindset. Let's talk about mindset. This isn't about you, boo boo. This is not about you, boo boo. I want you to try to remove yourself your fears and your goals from your profile and instead focus on your ideal customer. Ask yourself, why would they care? What would cause them to want to take action? If the perfect person landed on your Instagram account today, would they know why they should care about you and your business and what steps they should take towards eventually giving you money? I will say this isn't about you, phrase works, even if you're an influencer, even if you're a content creator. Now, I mostly work with business owners, but I consider myself a content creator and educator. And so I straddle the line between personal brand and influencer. And so I'm going to show my profile in a minute. When you look at my profile, I do add in some of those personal elements to things. But I want you to think about you as a business owner. Still, it's not about me. A lot of what I talk about my profile is to help you figure out if this is for you, like if you want to follow. Okay. So your homework for today, every day this week, I'm going to give y'all homework. And if you're in the Mindful Marketing Lab, you're more than welcome to submit your homework in the lab, and I'll give you feedback every day this week as you go through it. But for your homework for today is to improve your Instagram bio. Take a look at your bio. Are your 3 W's present? Is the next step clear? Are you using all of your landscape? Are you taking up every single part of your Instagram real estate? I want you to feel confident in that. All right? All right. So here we go. Next up, I am going to share my screen and we're going to take a look at my Instagram. Let's just give it a sec. Oh, my. Is it showing up right? Hold on. Why that looks so zoomed in. One moment, please. Let me see if I can zoom this out a little bit because the way that this is sharing, whew, that was too zoomed in. So I usually use this app called Reflector, and iPhone came out with a like share your screen option this year that was actually quite cool, where I could share my screen with y'all, but that is not working right now. So what I'll do is I'm gonna go ahead and use Reflector again. While I pull this up, go ahead and pop your comments and questions in the chat. We're gonna have a Q&A coming up shortly, so I'll go over my policy on comments and questions because I love a good Q&A session. It is like my favorite thing in the world to answer questions on the spot. So you're doing me a huge favor by answering questions, but there are no wrong questions, okay? There's no silly questions. There's no questions that are too specific. All questions are welcome, all right? So we're gonna go ahead and do that. And this is not working. All right. Well, part 2, I'm gonna go over to my Instagram on my desktop. The reason that I like to use my mobile device is that you get more options when you're on mobile, okay? I'm gonna use my desktop version of Instagram, but I'll walk you through some of this and just let you know off the bat. You get more options when you use your mobile device. All the joys of technical difficulties. Thank you, Sarah. You're the best. All right, here we go. Instagram. So let's start right at the top. You see my profile photo. My profile photo is the same on every platform. I think it should be the same on every platform. And I want you to look at your profile photo in this view, yes, but also when you go to your home feed, I'm gonna go to my feed and just show y'all. Look how small this is. Look at my Buffalo Sabres. Any hockey fans in the chat? Everyone always makes fun of me for being a Sabres fan because they're not great, but I love them. Anyways, you see how small this is? Let me scroll down a little. Look how small this is. You see how small these little icons are? So when you're looking at your profile photo, I want you to remember that it's gonna be pretty tiny. So I chose mine specifically like this for a reason. The white background, it's a white brick background, helps me stand out. My skin color and even the color of my shirt that I chose is very intentional so that it stands out in the feed. Okay, so even if it's super tiny, it stands out in the feed. I'll also point out the glasses. I told you about these glasses earlier on. These are my Instagram ad glasses. Okay, that's a total sidebar. All right, so yay, Jill's a hockey fan. Jill, what's your team? I don't know. I'm just like a new hockey fan and I'm loving it. All right, so we've got our profile photo. The other thing I want to show you is this is your username. Mine is @OnlineDrea. This is the most searchable part of your Instagram account. at @onlinedrea. This ideally is the same everywhere. Okay, so this is your username, your username. So when someone goes instagram.com/onlinedrea, this is that name here. You can change it, but they all have to be unique. And if someone else has yours, you don't have it. Okay, so you can't get it. Oh, Flyers fan and Caps fans, Kraken fans. Oh, Minnesota Wild. Oh, I love all the hockey fans in the chat. Y'all just warmed my heart today. Anyways, all right. So your username, but we also have this right here. This is your name. It's different from your username. This is the second most searchable part of your Instagram profile. So you've got your name and then you've got your username, then your name. You'll see that I have extra stuff here. So my name is Andrea Jones. There are a lot of Andrea Joneses in the world. There's a real estate agent in Texas or something like that. There's an author named Andrea Jones, not me. And so this I put here in case someone searches for my name. If they scroll, they may find me. But this is also just the thing that pops up when you comment on someone's post and it comes up as a notification. Usually it's your name, not your username that comes up. But you'll also notice I have extra stuff here. The character count varies. Okay, so just check that. But this is the second most searchable piece of your account. So I put social media here because a lot of people do search Andrea Jones social media. Even on Google, people search Andrea Jones social media. I know that because I look at my Google Analytics. Okay, so that's how people search for me. That's how they find me. So I'm putting that there. And then I also put marketing strategist because I no longer want to be just known for social media. I want to be more of a marketing strategist, specifically content marketing ecosystems. Okay, so this is something that I changed recently to reflect my business. So add searchable keywords to your name. Instagram doesn't tell you to do this, by the way. You just have to do it yourself. All right. Maple Leafs fan. Oh, the Leafs. Okay, I do like the Leafs because they're geographically close to me, and I'm going to a Sabres Leafs game coming up, and I'm so beyond excited about it. I would say I'm a Leafs fan regrettably, but they're there. If I had to pick a team other than the Sabres, I would pick the Leafs because they actually have a chance of making it to the playoffs. Anyways, okay, let me get back to Instagram. All right, so we have our username, we have our name, and then we have our bio. So I'll go over mine. Simpler, smarter marketing for busy people. This is my second and third W. Really, it's my third W. It kind of has all of them in there. Okay, simpler, smarter marketing for busy people is the tagline on my website as well. So there's a running thread. I also put podcast host and professional yapper. The professional yapper piece is kind of like signaling that I know internet speak and also warning you that I talk a lot. Okay, so that's just my thing. My founder of the Mindful Marketing Lab, I tag my business account there. Human first, always. This is a signal. This is me saying, listen, y'all, if you don't like Canadians, if you don't like the LGBTQ plus community, if you don't like Black people, if you don't like love is love, this account ain't for you. So I put this in my bio intentionally so that I signal to the right people that, hey, if you're here, this is great. Especially since coming up, I have a lot of training around ethical marketing, mindful marketing, being diverse and inclusive in your marketing and what that looks like in values-driven marketing. Like I talk about that a lot. And so if people don't resonate with this, then they won't like following me. And then you'll also see my links here. So this goes to my Metricool link tree. I'll share what that looks like. Very simple. Okay, so I have my little bio up here, and then I have my resources that people can take a look at here. Okay, I have a lot going on. So you don't need this much, but this could be helpful for you as well. Okay, awesome sauce. All right, let's go back to the Instagram bio because there are a few other things, two other things that I want to point out before we get into the Q&A portion of today. The first is our highlights. Now, I will warn you, like I said, I've been teaching this class for 5 years. Mr. Adam Masseri, who is the head of Instagram, announced a couple months ago that they're going to be moving these. They have not moved them yet, but apparently the highlights are moving. So I wouldn't put too much weight into what your highlights say, but I do want to point out what they're for. And I actually just updated mine today. So if you go and look at my Instagram story, you'll see how I updated them. But I want you to think about the key things that someone will want to know about you before following you or immediately after following you. That's almost the only time people look at these highlights. Okay. So with my about highlight, which I just updated today, I have a little bit about me. I'm talking. I share my free lead magnet and then I share my everything page. Okay. Simple. Three things. And so that's first. Whatever you update last will be the first highlight. So I saved this one for last. And then I have the podcast, have behind the scenes, and in the media. For me, that's all I need. I used to have a bunch more, but this has been enough for me. Okay, so highlights, update them. You can update your covers without needing to post them to your stories, but every other piece of content that comes in your Instagram highlights comes from an Instagram story. All right. The other thing I want to share is your pinned post. You have three options. Right now, I only have one option pinned, but you can pin up to three things. Some people like to have a connected pin option. If you're in the Mindful Marketing Lab, we have templates for all of these, including the exact template that I have here. This is a carousel post. Pinned posts also have to be posted as a post in order to be pinned. But this is a carousel post with video where I just introduce myself, marketer, romance author, wife and parent, human, want to be friends. And then I have a little bit about me in my in the caption here. All right. And so you want to pin something here for the person who's brand new to your profile and they're being nosy, give them something to look at. All right. Yes, Sarah, I'm gonna cover your question in the Q&A. That's such a great question. I love that. I'm gonna go back to our slides for a moment, because I do before getting Q&A, and I'm a little bit delayed, so go ahead and pop your questions in the chat. But while you're doing that, I gotta invite you to upgrade your lab experience and upgrade your experience because I know. Listen, you're here because you want to learn Instagram. I get that. And also these live sessions, the recordings, they're all available to you, but I have even more available to you inside the lab. And if you want my eyeballs on your Instagram account, now's the best time to join. This is actually the last time I am going to be talking about the Mindful Marketing Lab. We're closing it down for the next year. So this is your last chance to join the lab, and I'm giving it all away for 50% off your membership. Okay, 50% off. You'll get access to my Savvy Social Framework. You'll get access to all of our courses, including Instagram Savvy, but we also have LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, you name it. We have tons of like thousands of templates and Canva templates, caption templates, website templates, and more. Also brand new this year is tons of custom GPTs, including how to build your Instagram bio. So with our homework today, I'm going to be posting the Instagram bio builder again for our lab members. You can pop your info, your 3Ws, your last step, your next step into the bio builder, and it will build out Instagram bios for you. Okay, so marketing shortcuts is the name of the game. All of these are inside the lab. Use code farewell for 50% off any level of membership and come on in and join us for our farewell tour. Here's what you get into the lab. Like I said, I'm doing Instagram audits for everyone. If you just post your Instagram link by the end of this week, I'll post a little post in our community space for this. You will get my eyeballs on this. I'm taking our bonus co-working session on Friday to kind of audit and work through all of your links. And then whatever is left over, I'll keep going on Friday. Like my whole Friday is going to be auditing Instagram accounts. And I love doing it. It's going to be so much fun. We also have an Instagram ads session by the amazing Julie O'Hara on October 21st. So if you want to learn more about paid advertisements on Instagram, that session's for you. Also have the chance to win one-on-one strategy sessions for me. Anyone who submits their homework every single day this week in our homework post will get the opportunity to win a one-on-one strategy session with me. And the daily support threads will be in our community just to cheer you along the way, along with all of the recordings. Plus, every single member who completes the challenge will get swag. So by the end of the month, if you complete the challenge, post all of your homework, you will get some swag. We've got t-shirts, We have planners. Hold on, where's the planner? This is the planner, y'all. Can y'all see this? Social media rockstar planner, t-shirts, mugs, the works. So you'll have an opportunity to win some amazing swag in our community space. So join us onlinejoy.com/lab for our farewell tour of the Mindful Marketing Lab. I'm so excited what this next year is going to bring. Oh, and if you join the lab now, you will also get access to my new product, which I'm launching on Black Friday. Super secret. Don't tell anyone. But you'll automatically be grandfathered into that new product on Black Friday. All right, Q&A time. Ask your questions in the chat. There's no such thing as a bad question. There's no such thing as a wrong question. All questions are welcome. Please ask away. I would love to see them. I see Sarah has one question, which I will answer in a moment. But I'll give you a few more minutes, just one more minute to ask your questions and also remind you of what's coming up next. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about content that connects. Everyone loves the content sections. Even though content is just a small piece of the whole puzzle, y'all love the content questions. So keep them coming. On Wednesday, we're talking about building an audience of buyers. To me, this is one of the most important pieces of the strategy. And then on Thursday, we're going to tie it all together with our Instagram sales funnel class. This class, when I taught a social media sales funnel class last month in the lab. Y'all loved it. And so this class, we're going to bring it back for this challenge and focus on Instagram. And then on Friday, I'm going to do our members only audits. I should have put the 21st on there as Julie's session. And then October 31st is the deadline for prizes. All right. Questions in the chat. So Sarah has a question. Is there a way to reorder the stories in the highlight? That would be super useful. Sarah, the stories are only, they're time based. So if you want a specific order, you have to post them in reverse chronological order. Okay. So if I want to post, oh wait, sorry, I'm just now thinking about this. It's based on how you select them. And I wish I could share my screen because I just posted this. And it's still based on date though, I believe. Yeah, so the ones I just oh, y'all can't see this. The ones I posted today, Sarah, so these stories here, I posted them all in the same order, knowing that I was gonna add them to my highlight today. So if you want a specific order, post them in that order all on the same day, and then when you go to select them, they'll be in that order. If you don't, you'll get them like this. So this is the one I added today that's it's reverse chronological order based on the dates. So because I posted this one of Gibson in his sweater 3 days ago, that's going to be the last one here. The first one's going to be the one from 12 weeks ago. So it's based on the date that you posted. My best bet, your best bet is to do what I did today and post the stories that you want in the order that you want and then add them to your story highlight. That's the best way to do it. Okay. All right. Great question. And then if you want your bubbles in a certain order, whichever one you update last will be first. So I updated my about bubble today. That one is first. That's the one you see first. All right, Jill's question. Since I don't have my lead magnet and new signature offer, creating it now, what other logical things to share and link to instead, blog or newsletter? So Jill, I love the newsletter. I think a newsletter is the natural next step. It really depends on your offer, but for a lot of us, the newsletter is the best next place to go. That way, you have continued communication with anyone who's interested, and they will get your emails whether they log into Instagram or not. If your blog post is optimized to also get to the newsletter, I would consider that. Or specific blogs that can lead to your offer could be very helpful as well. So, for example, on my website, I oftentimes, when I'm trying to get clients, I'll just share a case study, and the case studies are optimized to get clients, right? And so you want to think about that a little bit as well. But yeah, I think the newsletter for you, Jill, would be the next best option. Yeah. Okay, awesome. And Sarah says, thank you. That's what I thought. Awesome. Thanks for the tip. Great. Y'all have been absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much for joining me for today's Instagram boot camp. Come back tomorrow because we're talking about content that connects. This is always a favorite session, and I'll see you then. That's it for today, everyone. Bye. Bye.